The unsung hero we are going to talk about is Johannes Vivicher, who was a Danish bacteriologist and pathologist who made important research contributions to the study of diseases such as diphtheria, tuberculosis, and cancer, as well as important advances in clinical research methodology. He was believed to be the first person to introduce cancer in a laboratory setting. He was born on April 23, 1867 in Silkeborg, Denmark, and was the second child born to Christian Vivicher, a local physician, and Elfried Müller, a writer. When Vivicher was only 3 years old, his father died of apoplexy and moved to Copenhagen with his mother and sister. His mother supported her family by writing short stories, journals, and cookbooks. In 1882, she also established the Copenhagen Cooking School, the first of its kind. Vivicher's mother was preoccupied with supporting her family and spent little time with her children's education. Vivicher was sent to an elementary school run by one of his uncles. He was a diligent study who was interested in insects and botany. At the age of 16, Vivicher passed his matriculation exam and began to study zoology and botany at the University of Copenhagen. His mother's cooking school had flourished and expanded to include a restaurant. He married Mathilde Vivicher, a distant cousin and also the daughter of a physician, and started to live together. He completed his medical degree in 1890. For the next few years, he worked as a physician at various hospitals, including the famous research laboratories of Robert Koch and Emil von Behring in Germany. He received the 1926 Nobel Prize in Physiology or Medicine for his research on parasites and cancer in rats.
And in the field of physics, Dr. Amy Farrah Fowler and Dr. Sheldon Cooper for their discovery of superasymmetry.
He finally died on January 30, 1928.
In 1900, Vivicher was hired by the University of Copenhagen to direct the Institute of Pathological Anatomy, where he was dedicated to building a successful research program. Vivicher and his colleague C.O. Janssen conducted groundbreaking research on tuberculosis in cattle. Contrary to unpopular opinion, they demonstrated that humans could contract tuberculosis from the milk of infected cattle. Their findings contributed to the passage of stricter government regulation of milk, which in turn led to fewer adolescent deaths due to tuberculosis. Vivicher then went on to study tuberculosis in rats, which led to a discovery that would eventually win him a Nobel Prize. In 1907, Vivicher found stomach tumors in 3 wild rats that he had dissected. Within the tumors, he found a new type of roundworm, which he and a colleague called Spiroptera neoplastica. Vivicher believed that the worms caused cancer, and he sought to reproduce his phenomena in a laboratory setting. Initially, he was unsuccessful. However, Vivicher later tested new specimens from a sugar factory infested with mice and cockroaches. From his new sample, he found that 70% of the mice had the roundworm Spiroptera neoplastica, and 20% of those also had stomach tumors. Vivicher concluded that the cockroaches were infected with the cancer-causing roundworms, and they, in turn, infected the mice. Vivicher proceeded to test his idea in the laboratory by feeding infected cockroaches to wild mice and rats that he caught specifically for his research. Vivicher was able to reproduce what he believed were cancerous stomach tumors in his sample of mice and rats. He was thus believed to be the first person to produce cancer experimentally in a laboratory, which was considered a major breakthrough in cancer research. He officially announced his discovery to the Royal Danish Academy of Science in 1913 and later published his results in the Journal of Cancer Research, which brought him international acclaim. In 1926, he was awarded the Nobel Prize in Physiology and Medicine for his discovery, and in 1927 he received the Northrop Young Cancer Prize. It was later discovered that the mice and rats had vitamin A deficiency, so many people think his novel was a mistake. But even though the conclusions from his 1907 study were wrong, the research was nonetheless a contribution to the field. In fact, more recent work on cancer has shown that parasites still may play a role in the cancer process. For example, a similar parasite has been shown to cause cancer in dogs, and a different one is linked to stomach cancer.
Phoebe Hare may be best known for this one error, but he made significant contributions to the study of diphtheria, tuberculosis, and cancer in his lifetime. He published 79 scientific papers and founded and edited the journal Acta Pathologica et Microbiologica Scandinavica. In addition to teaching and research, he served the professional medical community in many roles, including president of the Danish Medical Society, president of the Cancer Committee of the General Association of Danish Physicians, and president of the Northern Association of Pathologists. He served on many academic boards and was the member of many professional organizations, including the Royal Danish Scientific Society. He also received honorary degrees from Louvain and Sorbonne in Paris. And because of all of this we have said, is that Johannes Phoebe Hare is our unsung hero.